Joy Labad and welcome to Heads Up, a business-oriented show where we feature businessmen, promising entrepreneurs, young and seasoned managers, executives, CEOs, and practitioners who possess the gravitas to be good and effective business leaders in their communities and workplaces, respectively. This is your chance to learn and get some tips and encouragement from the experts on how to start and manage your business and be an impactful entrepreneur in the future. Our guest tonight is a familiar name in the skincare industry. She's not only a licensed clinical and aesthetic dermatologist, but also the president of Dermclinic, the pioneer leading dermatological center in the country today, established by her father, Dr. Vincent Pineda, known as the father of Philippine dermatology. A few months ago, Dermclinic was cited with the Philippine Heritage Society for the good and quality services it has given to the Filipinos for the past 53 years. Today, Dermclinic has 16 branches nationwide. Friends, please welcome the woman behind the unstoppable success of Dermclinic, the hardworking and the brilliant Dr. Angela Pineda. Hi, Doc. Welcome to Heads Up and thank you for joining us tonight. I know you're very busy. How are you?
Thank you. First, thank you for having me here. So I'm glad to be able to meet with you and to share my experience.
Yeah, of course. Now, before anything else, I would like to congratulate you for the citation you got from the Philippine Heritage Society a few months ago for the good and quality services you rendered to the Filipino people. Now, my question is, when you say good and quality service, how would you translate this one, or how would you translate that to your hundreds of clients patronizing Dermclinic?
First, I'd really attribute it to what our dad has taught us. So because most of the doctors, even if I haven't actually been in the same room with my dad in terms of treating patients, all of the doctors that I've encountered were trained by him. So one of the things that I saw that they've really embodied the value of listening to our clients, listening to our patients, because that's the first thing.
Of course.
That you can't just impose that this is the treatment plan for you and you don't really...
You don't just touch their faces.
Yes. It's important that we get to know them, their needs, their concerns, their lifestyles. So it's really about knowing the patient and being involved in helping them know more about their skin.
And they keep on coming back.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I'm just wondering, Doc, aside from the good and quality service you've been endowing your regular clients, what does it take for a company like Dermclinic to last for more than half a century?
Well, technically, during the start of the clinic, I wasn't really there, right? So I became aware of it latter part na po, because even when I was a kid,
but your dad was still there.
Yes, I was visiting, pero like wala akong awareness with how things were. But from what I see, one of the things that I realized when I entered the scene of Dermclinic, when I entered into management, is there were a lot of people who would tell us or who would tell me good stories about how my dad started. So I think the first thing is my dad really valued the people. Like that's the first. Aside from just valuing the patients, he valued the doctors, he valued the staff, the team. So we've had not just loyal clients, but we've had loyal employees since he started, or it could be middle of, they would share their stories hanggang sa nag-retire.
And they're still there with you? All these
Siyempre ngayon
employees?
medyo, I think mostly, nag-retire na.
Okay.
But along the way, there were some who got to meet him in the middle. So I think one of the things that I've seen as to how Dermclinic grew into to half a century, I think one of the most important things is that Dermclinic was able to innovate with the time. That's something that my dad would usually...
It evolved.
Yes, would remind us that aside from just knowing what's needed now, you need to know what's needed tomorrow, what needs needed next year, because that's how you will adapt to the challenges.
The changes. Diba? Now, as a daughter of the man known as the father of Philippine dermatology, what kind of pressure do you carry on your back in keeping up with the legacy made by your father?
Yeah, well, I think it's inevitable na meron po talagang pressure, 'di ba? But when I was growing up, I think one thing that my dad taught us is not, he didn't give me that this is Dermclinic, this has to be something that you will do.
No
He
imposition.
Wala pong imposition. He just allowed me to learn, but he would always remind me of the values that I needed to have as a person, the character that I needed to build. So pag alam niyang medyo lumilihis, doon niya kami ginaguide. So that it's knowing that, it's understanding that helped us to be who we are. But I think I keep hearing the statement that you have big shoes to fill. Diba? So people keep reminding that, or just at least there's an assumption that there's shoes to fill. But I keep also reminding myself that it's not just about filling his shoes, but about knowing what my purpose is for leading Dermclinic, so that I don't have to measure up to someone else, but I have to do it for me, for what I want my legacy or my plan would be for Dermclinic.
It's nice. Very heavy. Anyway, you are the president and at the same time a licensed dermatologist. Do you still find time to treat clients?
During the pandemic, it was very, very hard. But I still had time to really schedule it. So we have it scheduled. Over the past year, we've had a lot of transition, so medyo nag-lessen. But I make it a point, and I'm trying to make it a point, that I'm able to make myself available for specific clinic hours, because I find it that it grounds me, that I don't just learn from the state of the clinic from an outsider perspective. I really experience it. So I try to make it a point that I'm in the clinic once a week.
But how was it like treating your first client?
Treating my first patient, when we started, of course, we won't be allowed to treat it agad and do whatever we want. Diba? There's a process of just really learning and knowing about the patients. Initially, it was very difficult because when I was seeing our senior doctors who were doing it, parang alam na nila yung steps, diba? They know already how to say it. But so when I was treating my first patient, I think there were a lot of checklists that I need to ask this, I need to say this. But along the way, I learned that you just really need to learn how to listen, know when to listen, when to talk. Because if you just keep on checking the checklist, baka mamaya hindi mo na nakikita yung specific concerns niya. So it's really about knowing them, kasi minsan they'll be the ones who will show you. Baka mamaya kinakamot na pala niya, or you'd see a lot of habits that they're doing that you can help teach them how if you take the time to listen more and just help them understand yung pinaka-reason why they came to the clinic.
Okay, now, where are you more confidently relaxed? Being the position of being a president or a working dermatologist?
I think for more relaxed, of course, it's in treating patients. I feel like it's already, what do you call this? It's something that I enjoy doing. The treatments, being able to communicate with the patients. Of course, in the managing side, that's something that needs more guidelines, diba? More analysis. So, mas hindi yun. But it's something then that I also like and I also love, because when I was, during my first year of being in Dermclinic, as I was really busy with treating patients, I got bored. Yeah, so I knew that I was looking for I wanted the challenge. I don't know, but I think I wanted
more.
Yes. So I wanted more than just the clinic. So the clinic is like my comfort zone, but I would always look for
the managerial
something.
side.
Yes.
Anyway, growing, did you feel the pressure of going to medical school because your brother seemed not inclined to be a doctor?
Actually, no. But my dad did I think it was a smart plan. What he did when I was
But there was no prodding or wala naman pressure
wala pong prodding, walang pushing. Pero when I was a kid, residente na ako ng clinic. Like I would always visit.
But what was your pre-med course?
BS Biology.
Okay.
I actually asked him kasi parang my dad is also, I'm a daddy's girl eh.
Okay.
So kumbaga, of course when I was growing up, it was innate that what I see, I wanted to be. But there was no pushing.
Okay.
Pero I think the familiarity na ito yung alam ko, ito yung exposure ko, that was it. Na nung bata pa lang ako, I already knew that I wanted to be a doctor. Di ba pag kids, you start asking. So for the longest time, I just knew that.
Ideal dreams.
Yes. So I didn't really, and then when I was growing up, I asked my dad, he gave me I remember asking him, what did you take up? I asked him, pero iba pa yata before eh. Before, wala pa talagang pre-med course. Like, there's just a specific course. Tapos dire-diretso. Hindi pwedeng kahit anong. Ngayon kasi, different
But before you have
specialties.
psychology, you can be,
Yes.
diba? Biology, physics.
Nung time yata niya, specific. It's a medical course.
Okay.
So, from medical course, diretso ka na.
Okay.
So nung time ko, I asked him about it, but he let me choose. He let me decide what do you want to pursue, how do you want to do it.
But among the specialization in the field of medicine, why derm? We can be for di ba? Ibang mga we have different fields.
Actually, I didn't initially want, or I kind of shied away from going into derma agad because even my classmates, sure ako magdo-derma ka, no? Tapos parang, dahil it was already...
Because they know you're from Dermclinic.
They knew that, parang sabi ko, ay hindi, i-explore ko muna. I wanted the clean slate para I can really know if it's something that I want or not. So initially, I wanted to consider other specialties. I wanted to consider pedia.
Yes.
Yeah,
yun ang
pediatrics.
mas madatung ang mga doctors that time, di ba? We are pediatrician.
No, because I think I like the kids. Pero ang nangyari, I think when I was in second year, nakita ko din yung parang the difficult side of being a pediatrician, which is ang dami mong hinahandle ng mga sakit. And then, the fear of being able to lose patients as young as they are.
Yes.
So sabi ko, baka hindi ko kayanin na
Okay.
pedia. So, and then later on, when I was taking my internship, I think that it became clear. Kasi mas na-experience ko, in internship, you have 1 month to 2 months rotation. Ibig sabihin, we get to immerse in a specific specialty. So doon, parang mafe-feel mo, ito ba yung gusto ko? So we went through surgery, we went through medicine, we went through pedia, we went through ophtha, we went through all the other specialties. So from there, I kind of learned na it could be an inclining. I'm inclining towards derma, pero hindi pa talaga fully. Even until I first started residency.
Okay.
Yeah,
It took you how more years?
Yeah, it took a year after pa. Kasi nga parang I didn't want to preempt it na gusto ko na to nang hindi pa talaga ako sure.
But you have to be a licensed, right? To practice dermatology.
Yes.
Pero ilang years pa yon from your residency to getting a license?
The internship po, after the internship, that's the last year of our medical career to getting the license. And after that, you'll take the licensure exam.
For dermatology?
So, for medicine.
Medicine muna?
For medicine muna. After medicine, you'll choose your specialty. Pero dahil may license na po, some want to practice as a general practitioner. So, some, they go already to specialties during that time. So, usually, every specialty, meron pong period.
How long?
May 3 years, may 5 years for surgery. So, it depends.
Bago mo nakuha ang license mo?
But for me, what I did after my medical career, after I got my internship, after I got the license, diba? Syempre, that's a relief.
As a medical
I took a break. I took a medical leave.
Hindi ka ba sure ba?
No naman, I took a medical leave because since college, I went straight from medicine. From BS Bio, I took up BS Bio.
Proper.
Tapos diretsong proper. Tapos I came from Lasal, so trimestral po yung school. Pag transfer ko po, biglang pasukan na. So wala na po akong break hanggang sa buong medicine. So it's like 8 years almost of no break.
Okay.
Kaya after that, I felt like I needed to breathe. Medyo ganon.
Nagbakasyon, pambili mo.
So for a year, I took a break, but that's when my dad invited me, you go to the office para you'd have something to do.
You didn't try working outside? As a
No,
dermatologist?
no, hindi. I
Okay.
tried. So, parang tiningnan ko lang how it was. So,
Okay.
I was not visible in the medical scene
Mhm.
muna. So, initially, I actually considered, baka naman management na yung for me.
Mm-mm.
So, but when I was in the office, I think if you're a doctor, if it's really something that you'd want, you look for it the value of being in a hospital or being in a clinic.
Mhm.
So throughout that year, I felt like a couple of times na parang I was longing for being in the medical career. So alam ko that it wasn't just this. So I think
It was a commitment already.
yeah, there was something in me that I wanted to still do. I knew that I would be managing later on,
Mhm.
but I still wanted to be able to specialize further in dermatology.
Okay, now, what do you think is the edge or the strengths of Dermclinic as compared to other aesthetic and skin clinics in the country today?
For me, one of the first strength that I really saw when I entered the clinic is we treat our patients as family. Alam mo yun, when I was there, like, syempre, bago ako, di ba, as I mentioned earlier, when I was first doing my first consultation, it was like, I didn't know anything. But later on, when I was seeing other doctors treat or staff treat, I was surprised na parang they knew the clients like they were friends. Like this was like our weekly visit with them. This was like for patients, it was a breath of fresh air. Alam mo yun, they would go because it's already routine. Alam mo yun, it wasn't like a burden, di ba? Like visiting. So that's when I realized, oh, parang derm clinic or my dad was able to build not just that you have to go to, but they were able to really build trust. And I think that's something that my dad keeps on
Instilled in
ingraining
you.
to us, that you need to be able to show them that you care, show them. And I think that's one of the things that I was really amazed at when I first entered the clinic.
Wow, that's good. Now, since you became president of the company, what was the biggest challenge you've faced so far?
Actually, even before I was the president, diba, the challenge really was the pandemic.
Okay.
Diba? Kasi when I was the vice president, I was my dad allowed me to just make decisions. So it was kind of already stretching. Kasi VP na eh. So I was the one moving for the operations. We were the ones who transitioned with the plans. But I think when I transitioned to becoming the president, I think the challenge is being able to set a vision for what's further, because as you mentioned earlier, my dad was the one who set it up to almost 50. Yun eh. But from that time on, when it was already me and my brother who's been taking the roles of management, it was as if now it's our turn. What are we gonna do? Diba? Parang my dad no longer has anything to prove, anything to do, because he was able to establish it for
easier
this.
for you to continue.
But for us, it was as if parang, how do we maintain this? How do we grow it? How do we take care of it the way our dad took care of it for the first 50 years?
Yeah, but may advantage ba, Doc, na you're in the field to take that position?
Yes.
Why?
Because I started, I mentioned I took a year off.
Yes,
Ang ginawa ko lang doon, like, I was just observing everything.
Okay.
So wala ka pa talagang hands-on. But my
Nag-off
first,
ka pero nandoon ka pa rin.
I was there, but I was being familiar with the management
Okay,
side. But I had no decision-making capacity. Ganun lang siya. Very, parang immersion.
Yes.
Ganun lang siya. But when I started in the clinic, it was different kasi iba yung alam ko how they're working. I started working as a derma inside the clinic, and then I started understanding how it was being operated on a local level. So it was helpful for me, so that when I was able to go already to the managing more clinics, mas naintindihan ko. So that for me is the value that I was going to go around. So the first thing actually that I did when I was assigned bigger roles in terms of management, I went across all the 16 clinics.
Actually, that's my next question.
Yeah.
I have mentioned you have 16 branches. Do you find time to visit all these branches?
I made it a point
regularly
to visit. Yeah, because for me, I can't, alam mo yun, I can't just manage from paper. I can't just manage from someone else's statement. I need to know how it is in that branch. I need to know how things are. So for me, I make it a point. We have people who regularly visit. We have managers who already take on that role. But for me, it's important that I am aware of what's happening.
How are you as a boss?
As a boss, I think there's a level. Initially, when I was younger, I wasn't strict. But I think
Temperamental?
no naman. I think when I was when I was just thinking about myself, I knew how to manage it.
Okay.
But I think when I grew to having to handle a lot of things, I need to know that things are in place. So it's more of, I'm not temperamental in a sense, but I really look for results. I really look for
result-oriented.
Yes, I'm results-oriented. But it doesn't mean that I want this. I also consider the situation. I also consider the learning curves that's needed. So...
But you have branch managers.
Yeah.
So, follow-up na lang, hindi naman. You really have to go there.
We have branch managers. I think visiting the clinic is not just to tell them what to do, but it's them knowing that we're here.
Okay.
Diba? Because when I started, parang, I think that was something that I love doing. And I recognized I was part of like a volunteer organization prior to starting it. And that's something that I saw that was valuable, na you visit. Kasi if it's part of you, they should know that.
And they can feel you, the employees, di ba? The
hindi
people,
yung parang,
nandito management to.
Pinabayaan mo na yung clinic.
Exactly.
So
Now, as I've mentioned, you have 16 branches. Do you find time to relax?
Yeah, actually, over the years, kasi nga when we were slowly being given more responsibility, medyo mahirap kasi we had to learn the balance. But over time, we'd learn the value of, alam mo yun, learning to
time management.
Yes, of differentiating, hanggang dito lang, diba?
Okay.
Now I need to take a break, or I learned to say no, if you'd say it at that, kasi there was a time na if walang gagawa ako, so I would, like for example,
both in the clinic at sa office?
Yeah, so for example, wala, like there was an emergency for some, and then there's a doctor that's needed. There was a time during the pandemic that I would go to Dasmariñas,
Cavite, for
to
treatment.
handle the clinics. So,
every day?
Not every day, but like 2-3 times. Medyo may time na ganon because I wanted to make sure, yes.
What is usually the daily routine of Dr. Angela?
If I'm in the office, it's really waking up, diba? Usually pinapalipas ko yung traffic.
Okay.
Diba? Kasi traffic. So if we're going to the office, usually I go there in the morning. Usually we prep already the schedule. Tapos may mga days naman na I have meetings or paperworks. Kasi I'm an introvert by nature.
Okay.
So I need to,
You're a
diba, mentally,
doctor.
I need to prep myself for meetings. Diba? Parang if it's a whole day meetings, I have
but
to
you have a
recharge.
secretary to prepare for that.
Yes.
Okay.
I have to recharge mentally. You have to know what you're in for. So usually I prepare for that. Tapos it just depends on I know if I'm gonna be more studying lessons or studying plans, evaluating more of the analysis or more of the interaction because there are meetings. So it would depend on what's needed for the day. So mainly that's that. But occasionally we'd have trainings. Occasionally we'd still have monthly trainings. And then if I have schedules in the clinic, usually pinapaschedule ko na ngayon. Before kasi I would really stay for that period so they know that I'm there. Ngayon, mas scheduled na siya.
Okay.
So when there's a schedule and then I know that I have a patient there, saka na ako pupunta.
Okay. How do you cope with stress?
With stress, I think the first way that I cope with stress is to really take a pause.
Okay.
Diba? Because stress, the main reason why we get overwhelmed, and I think one of the pandemic was kind of a great revealer of all kinds of stress, diba?
Yes,
Because lahat ng klaseng problema, lahat nag-appear, diba? I think it's just to really take a pause because there are problems, like yes, it's difficult, but you need to I need to be able to compose myself. So I need to detach myself from the state. I need to know the problem, but at the end of it, I need to take a pause from that. Their emotions, but to really calm my emotions first so that I can decide reasonably. Diba? So, I think yun, na there's a need to pause. Hindi siya yung pwedeng,
but not
this is
too
it,
long
ito na.
a pause.
Oo,
Not
hindi
too
naman,
long.
hindi rin pwede. Hindi
Diba?
rin pwede kasi, marami nang kailangan gawin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Doc, Dermclinic has services and products.
Yes.
Among the services, what is the most, shall we say, in-demand service they get from clients?
I guess I can describe it that we have kasi basic dermatological treatments.
You have surgical services too,
Yes,
right?
that's what we had, aesthetic. Ngayon kasi, when you say dermatology, hindi na siya one problem lang. Hindi na siya pimples lang. 'Di ba? Pati yung Botox, 'di ba? Kasali na dyan. So it comes from, I think one of the main things that people would really come to us is if patients have acne.
Okay.
Yun pa rin. Or may concern sa skin, pupunta for consultation. So yun yung mga basic. Pero meron din namang advance, which is I think over the past 20 years, yun yung evolution in dermatology, na mas dumami yung parang awareness for aesthetic procedures, the need for enhancements. So yun naman yung other side.
How about products? What usually?
For the products, we have we still have products that we provide. We have oral medications. We have topical medications that we recommend for our patients. Kasi dalawa talaga yun eh. I think the difference with dermatology in medicine is karamihan po ng binebenta namin or ng products that we
based
have
sa mga
ay
needs.
topical,
Okay.
pahid. Diba?
Okay.
Kasi madalas pag pupunta, like for example, if you go to an internal medicine doctor, pag may high blood ka, hindi ka naman bibigyan ng pampahid. Automatic inom. Sa derma, lahat, it's mostly topical. So, pahid. So, that's why we have our own line. We have a new derm skincare line.
Okay.
So, and I realized, nung una, syempre, when I came in Dermclinic, most of what I saw was established already.
Okay.
So, what I understood was, I kind of looked into bakit may ganito. Diba? Para I was kind of in the why. And we have products because most of our patients, when we come to us, sa kapag may rash, pag may allergy, karamihan pag pupunta sa amin, ang immediate response ng derma or for us is to stop all medications.
Yes.
Why? Because we need to know if may trigger. And for us to know if may trigger, dapat medyo mag-start kami clean slate. Simulan natin na dahan-dahaning mag-reintroduce ng products, kung may ginagamit ka man, tanggalin natin yung mga possible na nagkukos ng allergies. And given the wide variety of products in the market, minsan ang hirap. Diba? Tatanungin kami ng pasyente if, Dok, maganda ba
from
to?
Japan ba to?
Diba?
From
Maganda
Korea
ba to? So parang ikaw din, hindi mo na rin alam. So what we have at Dermclinic is we have our own line
you
of
manufacture your own products.
If
locally.
our patients, yes.
Okay.
If our patients have their own, we ask them, ako personally, I really ask them, or we check what it is, because if we know if it's safe, we know if it's fragrance free, usually yun yung mga
nakaka-allergy na may
dapat yung mga fragrance, kaya dapat fragrance free. So pag ganon, but if for example they really don't have a regimen that they can start with, they're looking for a regimen that they want to start with, we give them our new derm sets because our new derm products, these are developed by Filipinos. And
you're chemists, you have chemists in your
actually it was developed by doctors mainly. Yes, because when we started, and that's something that we're continuing, my dad was the one who would dictate what should be in it.
The formula.
Yes, the formulations. It's us who identify. It's us
you
who set
the
it. Even the percentages that we want. The percentages that are proven to be effective. So, yun. Plus, we make sure that it's only a base. Diba? Para mas lutang yung active. Hindi siya yung marami ka pang hinahalo. Because sometimes, the more you mix additional ingredients, minsan mas dun hindi mo na maintindihan yung effect sa skin.
Lalo.
Yes. So with our products, we make sure that it's that. And with how I've seen, we've just tweaked it a little in terms of formulation, improved it a little bit, but mostly we've seen the effectivity of it since it started hanggang ngayon. And I myself, I use our products.
Wow, walk the talk.
Yeah.
But you also provide the hair what do you call it?
Hair treatments.
Hair treatment, yes.
Yeah, we have hair treatments. I think my dad was the first one who started having hair shawls. So, alam nating lahat yung facials. But we have
Hair
treatments,
shawls.
hair shawls.
Okay.
So, the goal is to really, it's different from a salon because a salon, it preps your hair for the treatments. For us, it's us restoring it to health. So, we have hair shawls for hair loss. We have hair shawl for
Growth.
For dandruff,
Okay.
yung mga ganon. So, yung damaged hair, mas yun. And then, we also have treatments, particularly to grow hair. Yun. Meron kaming microneedling procedures, meron kaming lasers, and of course, we have hair transplants.
Now, Doc, what do you think is the biggest skin problem among Filipinos?
I think the biggest skin problem, not just among Filipinos,
Okay.
I think overall, it's really acne.
Oh.
Because I
The
think
weather?
once in our lives, diba, we will all have acne.
Yes, of course.
So parang yun din talaga siya. But if you call like what's the persistent, kasi may iba na bata lang, tas ano, I think it's aging. 'Di ba? Because it's something that
Surgical, yeah.
everyone will react about
Yes,
it, 'di ba? It's everyone now is we're all going to age. But we
Yes.
all want to age gracefully. So 'di ba? That's something na even if sabihin kong I do routines from childhood, na ganito na para hindi ako magka-frown lines, 'di ba? But later on, lalabas at lalabas because of the natural course of things.
Now, as a dermatologist, what skincare product that you will recommend for anyone, for any for Filipinos to bring every day when they're out?
For Filipinos, I think one of the best advices that I can give is have a skincare routine. Kasi dati wala ako eh. Wala din ako noon eh. When I was younger, I remember, I was already in med school.
Okay.
And then hindi ako naglalagay ng kahit anong cream. But magtupuyat kami. Because nga,
yes.
I'm entering into
Eyebags.
medicine. Oo. So nagkaka-pimples talaga ako. So my dad would lecture me about using products and I would ignore it. But later on, I realized the value that he was teaching me how to take care of my skin. Diba? Because your skin, it's the biggest organ in the body.
But
It's the
yes,
biggest growing organ. Ibig sabihin, nagpapalit yan every day. Kaya nga, nagkaka-freckles, nagkaka-dark spots, nagkaka-rash. So, it's very, very active. So, it's important as well that we take care of it. Na alagaan natin siya.
And of course, Dermclinic has all these products.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Now, how do you keep yourself updated with skincare trends and innovation?
One thing is we really attend international and local
Expos.
conventions. Yes, meron talagang mga convention, and it's not just me. We make sure that we bring our doctors there because dermatology medicine is really continuing education. I think with any profession, if you don't learn what's new, may iwanan ka eh.
Yes, exactly.
So it's really about learning what's in. But I think for us, what we try to do is we balance yung uso lang versus is this really effective. Kasi I've seen that it works better. Like both me and my dad, we want to understand first, 'di ba, if this procedure is safe. Kasi maraming instant na bago, nandyan na agad sa market, but later on malalaman mo, hindi pala safe. 'Di ba? Safety is still a big factor. That's why we make sure that all our services, all our products, if we release it, if we communicate it at our clinic, it's safe. It's something that we studied. It's something that our doctors evaluated. It's something that we trained for. Na we spent hours of training just to perfect the skill before we do it on you. We make sure na extensive yung practice namin just to make sure that we do it right.
Did it ever happen or occur that there are some complaints? Bumabalik sila?
Well, I think for complaints, thankfully, for the past 2-3 years, siguro mga 1 or 2 lang.
How do you
And
handle
the
it?
complaints kasi I look into it. If I know that there's a complaint, I look
Personally,
to it.
you
Yes.
handle it.
I look to it. Or I kind of get to know anong naging problema.
Okay.
Because we want to know if it's part of our treatment or meron bang ginawa yung patient outside the treatment
Yes,
that could have
exactly.
triggered it. So mostly it's allergic reaction, but mostly from what I've seen, hindi naman. Based on what I know, from how I've seen, hindi. Kasi we're also, I think one of the techniques that we kind of do at Dermclinic is we're not too aggressive. Alam mo yun?
What do you mean we're not too aggressive?
We're not too aggressive, meaning, everything has a learning curve.
Okay.
Diba? Even for patients, if he wants this, even if sabihin niya, gusto ko maganda na ako, ngayon na. Diba? Aware kami that imposible po yan. Diba?
Yes.
There's a process. So we need to walk the patient through that. Alam mo yun? We also explain it to them para may gradual acceptance on both ends. So if even with treatments, like any treatment, if you do it, the goal is not to just do it instantly para wala na. Diba? Like for example, I've heard this one, I'm not saying because I know of a case, but in general, Botox is something that's widely talked about,
Yes,
diba?
of
Because of
course.
the injection, because it relaxes the muscles. But although most of the people are aware of it, marami din pong ayaw. Diba?
Bakit
Why?
ayaw?
Because they've had experiences or they've heard of experiences na nag-iba yung mukha. Diba? Hindi na sila. Or parang I just heard of this from one close relative, I think last month. And then she was telling me that she did it once, diba? Hindi niya alam na gusto niya. And then one of her friends who wanted to show her the technique did it on her. Hindi siya na-prep. So ang nangyari was the medicine was effective. But when she looked at herself, alam mo yun, parang nabigla siya.
Shock siya sa
Yeah,
itsura niya.
kasi hindi naman, it wasn't na hindi effective. It wasn't na hindi tama yung technique. But it's about walking the patient through. Because at the end of it, as I was mentioning earlier, we're not just treating just to bring results. Diba?
Yeah.
We're walking with the patient for her to have that she'll feel good.
Adjustment.
Yes. Diba? We don't want to just do this. One of our taglines is beauty by your trusted dermatologist.
Yeah.
We primarily want to build that trust. We primarily want to build that trust so that we can give you that confidence. Because it's not beauty. Parang beauty has a different standard for
Yes.
different people. But what can enhance that beauty is the confidence that we want to help them develop. So when we treat them, we don't just want them na, oh, ito, wala ka kasing di ba? Hindi ka maganda kaya ito yung kailangan mo. Di ba? It's not that. It's them, you walking with them, you being their trusted partner, us being their trusted partner to walk them through their skincare journey, their confidence journey into developing better skin, improving their skincare habits.
And better you.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, your father also founded the Dermatological Institute Foundation of the Philippines.
Yes.
Does it still exist now?
Yes. This is the institute that trains our dermatologists.
Professionals.
Yes. Because we don't just want na, nag-training ka na dyan. Like, it could be that there are skills, but we want to make sure that we give uniform knowledge for everyone. Like, although there are basic techniques, diba, you need to know. But it takes practice for you to be able to be the best. Like, the experts in the field that we know now, they were novices once, diba? They
Yes.
started as
Yeah.
this. So, we don't want, as a training, DIFP ensures that we're making sure that every doctor in Dermclinic and every staff in Dermclinic understands the whole journey of skincare, understands the whole journey of treating patients, so that we can give the best care for our patients.
You're also actively involved in charity works. May you say something, expound on this?
We've partnered with a couple of activities. We've had medical missions. We actually did 2 or 3 medical missions last year. We did one with a school, 2 with a school, and then one at jail. So we partnered with one of the religious organizations that's really focused on doing that because I think growing up, my dad has shown me that with how we do, it's for us, it's not detached from our work. For me, that's part of our work. That's how we give back. That's how we help. Because if we want to promote Dermclinic, diba, we want to provide good skincare and healthcare. It's not just for those who can afford. We want to be able to give it even to other Filipinos who don't have the capacity to reach it. Even last March, I think we went to Zambales. We partnered with a community so that we can visibly help and provide them with skin hair tips, alam mo yun, just the right ways how to take care of the skin.
Basic things.
Yes. So we've also one of the main institutions that we partnered with Yellow Boat Foundation. So I'm an ambassador of Yellow Boat Foundation because it provides education for the less fortunate. It started in Mindanao.
So you have scholarships?
For scholarships, it's not direct, diba? For them, meron dun. But because aside from us managing, we're also supporting a school. So we also have scholars. My dad has started. I think my dad was able to let, I'm not sure, but I think around more than 20 or less than 50 scholars along his lifetime. So it's something that we're continually stretching this capacity because our family or what our dad taught us, the value of education. Kasi he saw it. His mom was a teacher, diba? His mom was he had siblings who were teachers. He knew the value of education early on. So while we were growing up, that's one of the things he reminded us and he taught us.
How do you envision Dermclinic in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, one of the things that we want to do is we want to really build our core, meaning that we want to build our internal operations, or that's our primary goal, our internal operations. Because for me, you can't really dream bigger, diba, if we have a weak foundation. So for me, especially coming from the pandemic, medyo ang daming shifts, ang daming transitions, and then ang dami ding adjustments. Aside from we're adjusting to the times, we're also adjusting to what the customer wants. So I think that will not wane in the next 2 years, diba? Parang we're still just figuring out how the new normal is really working.
But it's
so,
at least it's moving.
Yes, it's moving. So I think that's one. And we're looking at also continuously expanding branches where there are no derm clinic. But we know na matagal yun eh. Di ba? Matagal mag-set up and mag-build ng clinic. What we're planning to do is to continually be able to partner with, we have some of our products are already in major drugstores. So because we want to make it accessible. Di ba? We know that not everyone has the capacity to reach a doctor and maintain dermatologic treatments. But every person, di ba, can go to a drugstore just to get the right skincare products for them, the right hair care
No
products.
prescriptions, of course.
Yes. Meron po kaming mga cosmetic grade products that they can get in the drugstores, and we plan to expand that at least in the next coming years. And then we're also planning to continue doing, this is already being done, we're doing free skin and hair consultations wherever
in all
we
branches.
Kung saan po kami, usually may events that we join. We join events, we join awareness, because I think that's one of the most important things in the Philippines, diba? It's important for us to spread knowledge as well with education about skincare and health.
As I've mentioned, summer is fast approaching. Any promo services you plan to promote?
For the summer, of course, we're highlighting our laser treatments ngayon because we need to be more confident, diba, with flawless skin. So we have our diode lasers and our IPL. So these are different treatments if you feel like there's excess hair growth, diba, for your skin, you can avail of that. And we also have continuously our other aesthetic treatments. And one of the things that we've mastered in Dermclinic is really being able to help patients transition from having, alam mo yun, very bad acne to really having acne clear skin. So we still have continuous of that because it's not just about, alam mo yun, sometimes yung mga nagkaka-acne po, diba? Aside from pag magaling na sila, ang problema naman yung scars. Ang problema naman yung dark spot. So yun, we find
continuous
ways.
treatment. Now, why would someone need to, if you want a skincare treatment, why would they visit Dermclinic?
First, I've mentioned this a couple of times. Usually, when people ask me why, diba, pwede ko naman I'll just search it online. It's important for any person, at least all Filipinos, to be able to consult with a dermatologist at least once in their life. Why? Because we will all have skincare problems, diba? Whether that's a rash, or pimple, or breakouts, or diba, or mga stretch marks, ang dami because it's very, very visible. So it's important for us to to be able to show it to our doctors. And I think the second part is that it's better pa rin to consult someone who was able to study this in depth. Kasi ang nangyayari ngayon, I remember seeing a lot of patients during the pandemic. Tapos, pagpunta po sa amin, ang dami ng pimples. Tapos nung tinanong ko siya, ang dami na po niyang ginamit. It's harder to repair. Diba? It's harder to repair if you do internet search muna. Tanungin ko muna yung sinabi sa TikTok, 'di ba? Even if we go through all the social media, ask the doctor, this is still not a personalized treatment.
Yes.
This is still just general knowledge. But if you go to a doctor who understands your skin, if you go to a dermatologist, they can properly guide you, your habits, alam mo yun, they can make their treatment specific for you.
Yes.
They can make their treatment specific for what you want.
Yeah.
Diba? Kasi
Your skin needs.
yes, oo.
Yes. Now, on a personal note, how do you keep your skin beautiful, or share your beauty secrets, maybe?
I don't have a 20-step procedure. That's first.
Okay,
That's a disclaimer because I myself, I don't want maintaining a lot of treatments. Kasi I usually just have a basic skincare routine.
Like?
I have a basic wash, a cleanser. So I usually use our mild wash cleanser. I use a toner. Usually, especially, I'm oily by nature. So what I usually do, there's a need. May iba dyan na pwede hindi naman kailangan ng toners. That's why I mentioned na sometimes I use it twice a day. So the toner helps remove excess oil, excess dirt, excess bacteria on the skin. Then afterwards, I usually use a moisturizer and a serum. Yun yung like go-to
Every
stuff.
day?
Yes. But at night, sometimes if there are months that are parang stress talaga yung like there are breakouts. So what I usually do, I add special creams. So that's when I add a tretinoin cream. So that's something that we have at our clinic, and I'm alternated with a glycolic cream. So lahat po to we
Available
have
sa
in our clinics.
Dermclinic.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. How would you find success?
Success is that's difficult kasi 'di ba with every person it's different.
Yeah.
But I think for me, I define success as being able to do what you love, but at the same time seeing that you're also benefiting others, diba?
Okay.
Because I can some would define that it's just this having accomplishments, but if that is in itself parang kulang. I think that's something that we try to always do at Dermclinic, something that we've learned from our dad. It's to really pay it forward. So I think it's something that's I can define something as success if we continue to do this, we continue to serve our patients, diba? But at the same time, we're also able to do more and help others at the same time.
So, do you consider yourself you have achieved success?
I'd like to say that, diba? But it's always a constant pursuit, diba? I think with everyone, even if you're
A continuous process.
it's a process that you want to do, diba? And I think it continue to evolve. But I think the idea of you wanting to serve, wanting to do good, that's still part of how we'd want to grow.
What's the best thing you've learned in life, both as a practitioner and an executive manager of your business?
I think one of the best things that I've learned in managing and is to really put God first.
Okay.
Because I remembered, I just recalled during the time of the pandemic, as I mentioned earlier, during the pandemic, although I was even prior to me being just the VP, I wasn't the president yet. My dad was already giving me free hand to do what I was supposed to do, and I was just consulting him, and he would always come back to me and remind me, we need to ask God, because at the end of it, there are a lot of challenges that we will face at work, uncontrollable circumstances. Even the pandemic was uncontrollable, and there are a lot of things that will be uncontrolled. But if you trust God and if you put Him first, you won't have to chase success, diba? You just be content with what's there, and you're just confident with the decisions that you're gonna make. And also with the things that you can't control, alam mo yun, you can let go.
Yes,
You
of
can
course.
you can let go with that.
Yes, as you have mentioned earlier, Dermclinic is a beauty by your trusted dermatologist. Now it's your time to invite people to visit Dermclinic.
Yes, we'd like to invite everyone to visit Dermclinic. We have 16 branches nationwide, and our heart is really to be able to serve you, to be able to help you achieve your best skincare and your best hair care. We want to continue to invite everyone to visit Dermclinic. You can follow us at our Facebook page and our Instagram handles, and you can just know more about Dermclinic. If you want to even look at the products that we've mentioned, we also have Shopee and Lazada shop so that you can get your
Online
products
shops.
available.
On that note, thank you very much, Dr. Angela, for this occasion, for joining and sharing your thoughts, your beauty secrets with us and to our viewers.
Thank
Good
you.
luck and more power. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dr. Angela Pineda.
Pineda.